What does the ReSPECT form contain? Section 1, Personal Detail. Section 1 contains identifiable details such as name and address, date of birth, NHS number, and the date that the form has been completed. Section 2 is a summary of relevant information for this plan, which includes a summary of relevant background to the recommendations in Section 4, e.g. diagnosis, previous and present conditions, prognosis, communication difficulties, and how to overcome them. The specific detail and the location of documents such as the advanced decisions to refuse treatment, advanced care plans, or organ donor cards. Section 3 is the personal preferences to guide this plan. It includes a scale to help the person to understand the balance between priorities of care and identify their own priority. This may be marked and the aspects of life most important to the person recorded. Section 4 is the clinical recommendations for emergency care and treatment. It contains the recommendations to guide decision-making in future emergencies. Firstly, the agreed goal of care is either focusing on the life-sustaining treatment or focusing on symptom control should be signed. Clear detail of the types of care and treatment that the person would or would not want to be considered for, including whether or not the person would want to be taken into hospital and in what circumstances, and other level of care decisions, for example whether they should be considered for intensive care admission or whether only non-invasive ventilation would be recommended, will be recorded here. At the bottom of Section 4, one of the boxes will be signed. This may be CPR attempts recommended, left side and white box, or CPR attempts not recommended, right side and red box. The middle box is for use only with those with children in whom a need for a modified CPR sequence has been identified and agreed. Remember, a patient having a ReSPECT form does not necessarily mean that resuscitation is not recommended for them. Always check the ReSUS recommendations at the bottom of Section 4. The reverse side of the form contains the validity of the plan. Section 5 records the person's capacity and representation at the time of completion. Section 6 is the confirmation of who was involved in making the plan. Section 7 will be signed by the professionals who completed the ReSPECT form. Section 8 lists the person's key emergency contacts. Section 9 may be blank. The recommendations on the ReSPECT form do not have a defined expiry date, as the need for review must be considered carefully for each person at each stage in their clinical progress.